All right, here we are. The very first episode of the podcast. Not even just, it's also the first episode of Tower of God, but the first episode of the podcast that we don't have a name of.
To be determined.
To
I
be
think.
determined. But
To be determined podcast.
I am the Rew Show here with my guest, or other host, I should say.
Aaron C. Wolf.
So, we're here to talk about Tower of God, episode 1.
The webtoon turned anime.
Yeah, the webtoon turned anime. So, you want to give your first impressions?
First impressions is I liked it. As far as anime goes, there has been way worse showings as a first episode than what I saw today.
So it's good. You're going with it's good.
I thought it was pretty good. Are you saying you didn't like
No,
it?
no. I was gonna say I was gonna give it the compliment of it's one of the best first episodes I've seen in quite some time.
Oh no, that's high praise.
Yeah.
Right there.
So, just to give my reasoning for that is it just left a lot of mystery, and I love mystery and a lot of things you don't know, but they give you tad bits of hints. They're throwing stuff at us, but we don't know the story yet. So I love it. I should say not the main character, but it seems like the main girl, Yuri. She seems cool. She seems like waifu material. And she seems just like a badass, to be honest. Like, she's probably my favorite character I've seen.
I haven't memorized all the names of the main characters yet, so which waifu are we talking about? Are we talking about the girl who seems to be an angel, or are we talking about the girl that's got swords for hair?
The girl that's got like swords for hair. No, wait, yeah, the swords for hair girl.
Yeah, because the other one's Rachel. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I'm
go.
already horrible at it.
So,
but I do agree with you. Like, she seems like she can kick some butt, and I'm all about some butt kicking ladies in the first episode.
Yeah, but let's talk about the story first. So, the story pretty much seems to be that there's a Tower of God. That if you climb the tower, your wish is fulfilled. It's like the Holy Grail in Fate Stay Night or Fate Zero, except it's probably way better than that. So if you reach the top of it, anything you want, you could become even a god. It's yours. Which is, I mean, it's a good hook to a story automatically. Perfect hook.
I would say so.
And we see our main character, Bam, chase after Rachel because Rachel wants to... Did you laugh at the name Bam?
Yeah, I can't. All I can think is... like when you said it, all I could think of was Bam Bam from the Flintstones.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, same. I literally during the episode I went bam, bam, bam. It was just out of reflex.
You know how bad that is? Because the Flintstones was an old show when we were kids, and the fact that we still make that connections means that name is still not safe to use.
It's still, but. All right, Bam 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 is what we're going to describe Bam as for the rest of this episode.
Yeah, Bam Bam. Bam Bam.
So, Bam 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 is chasing Rachel because Rachel has a dream to go see the stars. So she disappears, and then Bam seems to also disappear into the first level. So there has to be some sort of time skip, some weird timeline, because does he disappear the same time Rachel does? Or does he disappear later on? That's left to the imagination, I guess. If it's the same time might not work the same way we know as. Or
I would say she could have, like, for all we know, she could have, as soon as that door opened and she disappeared, she could have came in, and by the time he came through, it could be weeks, months, years later. We don't know. That's part of the mystery, and I kind of like that.
I love that. Mystery is how you get to the key to my heart, and it's got my heart right now. But I'd say probably my favorite element of this story is how I'm trying to think of his name again. Bahard, or what is his name? The guy.
Hedon?
Hedod. I think it's Hedod.
Is it Hedon or Hedon? Because I was going off of the captions. I think it's Hedon. Whatever
Hedon,
it is.
It's Hedon. Yeah.
Is it Hedon? Okay.
Hedon pretty much said, "Oh yeah, you're an irregular. Handle this level 20 floor or whatever, and you'll be good." And it's like, oh, we're going there already. And
oh yeah,
I don't know. I just thought that was like a cool little thing to do to start the story. To be honest, like, is our character overpowered? Doesn't look like it.
Very like shonen protagonist kind of like level. It's just like, hey, here's this impossible challenge. do it on the first try or die. It's like, oh crap, he
Eh,
does it, and it's like, oh, I guess he might be the main guy.
I mean, Bam 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 just took it like a champ. He beat it. I mean, like even before like the Zanpakuto came out that he has from the
I know this. I
the
think
Black
we're getting
March, I
we're
should
getting
say.
ahead
We're getting a little
bit.
ahead. But before
We're
that
getting a little ahead.
happens, it's pretty cool to see like he is consumed by it and like he was planning to do that anyway. Like he had no fear of death, which is like that's respect to be honest. Like
I know. I have actually. There's two things I wanted to talk about. In the opening, because the opening I thought was really really good because it was short, it was simple, it got you hooked, and then it put you right into the story before the main opening song, which was on par, I think, with Full Metal Alchemist, the one from season 2, the one that's really really catchy.
season 2 of
Oh,
Brotherhood or the original?
Brotherhood, the good one, man, the
Man, don't
good
we don't
one.
it's not that we won't get
I
in
know
that
it's not
topic.
it's not that discussion,
It's not that
but
discussion.
it matches the tone of the show, and I thought it was pretty good. But in that small opening, did you notice that someone else got eaten by the steel snake?
I did not actually. I was gonna bring up just how in the opening we just see Bam 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 in so much pain. Like literally, he's like going through hell. Like during that whole opening sequence, there's no moment you see really a smile go across his face.
No,
Other than there's an evil smile, if I remember right, but you don't see an actual happy smile through
I
that
know.
whole opening.
I'm wondering if he is the one getting eaten in the opening, and then you see it later in the episode that he still overcomes that. I need to go back and watch it to watch the character design because it's either some scrub showing you how dangerous this tower is, which I loved,
Hmm.
or it's Bam 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 getting eaten and then surviving,
Well,
which
which is great. And
which is great. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to just touch on is I love how this character is both fearless but not,
oh yeah,
because if I was going to jump into a monster's mouth to kill it, I would actually jump just in case the thing took out my legs.
yeah, yeah. Because like, what if he just like got ate a wrong way? Like,
Right?
maybe it's a part of the system that it won't happen to you.
But that's more of a, I'd say that's more of like a show in general problem because every time you see a character get eaten by another character, barring Hercules, every single time you just see the jaws clamp down and then a swallow and the character's okay. The only one I've ever seen where I didn't not believe that the character just lost his legs to this giant monster was in Hercules when it like throws him up and then swallows him because that made more sense.
Well, going to the story as well, we kind of skipped over for a second. Well, Yuri and Evan, their entrance to it, which the whole ball thing. I forgot what it's called. It's not the
Project
Black
no.
March. It's something simple. The ba ba ba.
Oh god, it's
Yeah,
gonna kill me.
yeah. I have it on top of my head. I literally just said it
Black
like
ball.
three. Just want to call it the black ball for now.
Just we're just gonna call him black
The
balls
pocket.
because
The pocket. It's called the pocket.
I feel like black ball is a better name than pocket, but maybe there's a significance to pocket later
Yeah.
on that we'll find out about.
So the pocket can translate language, which is, I mean, if that was in the real world just by itself, that's pretty cool. But it can also do way more than that we still have no idea, because obviously you can ask your pocket to help you, or was it the Black March? No, never mind. But the pocket probably has more.
I'm sure it has
uten-
more things that
Yeah,
it connects, I'm sure, multiple people.
they
I'm
called
sure
it a
that
lifeline.
I'm sure it can like function as a communicator. I'm sure it has some way of assessing your power. I'm like, there's usually some kind of like little device in a lot of anime that has all the same kind of basic functions, and then as the series progresses, more and more things come out of it.
Mhm.
Just it's a nice little device and tool, and I do love the fact that it can blip in and out.
Yeah,
So
like
you're not constantly holding onto this, volleyball size thing. It's just there whenever you need it.
so. Can
I
I ask
kind
you?
of like that.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you think the
Obviously,
princess why do you think Princess Yuri would be killed just for going to the floor? Like what I'm determining is princesses are going to be a dime a dozen. Like there's probably hundreds to thousands of princesses, while she's just one of the few. Maybe not thousands, but maybe like 30 princesses, and it's like, well, if we execute her, who cares?
well, I don't know. Well, to clarify a smidge, going back for those who haven't seen this episode but are still listening to this, she comes in. The person who's in charge of the tower says, "You can't enter here. because you're of the royal line, which is okay. We have no idea what that's about. But then that made me wonder because later in the episode, you see when we'll talk about it later, a huge diversity of body types and characters and things that look like they aren't from the same world. So I'm wondering if different places are connected, and then if her family is the ones who control the tower, but then there's other royal families around, either in the universe or on this planet, who can also access the tower, but their family is just the one that has it physically on their land or something. Because we don't know where it is yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're just here. We're just already here at the tower.
Which is pretty cool. But Bam summons his Zanpakuto after Evan, the navigator, keeps saying, "Hey, bro, do this, please, or you're gonna fucking die, mate." And he's like, Bam's like, "All right, cool, man. Thanks, fam." Boom. Summons his Zanpakuto. And from the Black March, I think is what it's called. And yes. It's she's like, "I'm only into guys," which I was like, oh, she's not going to be summoned by a girl. So that's I wonder if it's just that specific one, if they all have different. I want to call them Zanpakutos because it seems like they're not spirits per se. It's probably more like Shaman King than anything. I don't know if you saw Shaman King before.
I did. Like where they're attached to a physical thing.
Yeah, it's like no matter what, it's not the person's soul or whatever. It's like that spirit's attached to that sword specifically.
Right.
So it's probably more like that, to be honest, but I like to just call it Zanpakuto. But
nerd.
It saves
for
the
those
day.
of us who haven't watched Bleach, that is a Bleach reference.
And it's pretty cool that he beats the eel. He goes straight to the second floor, which I don't know. I wonder if this is like the second floor, like the actual one, or if it's like this is floor 21 because you started out on 20.
Right. Because he was the challenge he overcame was a level 20, but then he's like, oh, you get to go to floor 2. So is it floor 21 or is it floor actual 2? And he has to go all the way back up.
And so we're at test 2 now, and let me just say,
2.
This is a battle. You think it's floor 2?
I think it's floor 2 just because of what you're about to say about it being a battle royale.
Battle royale, and I enjoy it's like it just says get to the 200 mark. It doesn't say you have to kill anybody. It just says get to the 200 mark. But of course, people love killing. So
oh yeah. Well, in that scenario, if someone posed that question to you, how else are you supposed to reduce the number to 200?
We could talk about it with the other people first. I mean, I'm not going to.
Magically transported to another realm. You have your weapons. There's things that look like monsters around, and they're like, hey, reduce 400 to 200. That's some heavy implications.
No, it is. I mean, I can't deny it. But, you got to work together with somebody. You got to find the first person, like, hey, let's work together. We need 200. We could work together and obviously kill some more people. But, I mean, there has to be another way that I don't see yet, but we haven't been revealed it at all because they haven't shown us a way that you can get it down to 200 without killing anybody, unless you're running away the whole time, right. Which might be a part of the test. Don't kill anyone, run away, stay alive.
It could be, but then we haven't seen any kind of boundaries because the second floor looks like a planet.
Yeah,
like it looks endless, even though it's a floor.
It just
it looks endless. Like even on I know to name drop the accursed series Sword Art Online.
I thought you were gonna say that, you piece of shit.
Just to name it, because even on Sword Art Online, you saw the boundary.
Yeah,
of the floor, so you knew you couldn't go beyond the boundary or you died. In this, there is no boundary, so the floor could be an entire planet for all we know.
That's true.
Which I like.
To end the episode, we have our character Bam 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 about to get attacked by some I forgot what he looks like. He looks like some monster or something.
He is the quadruple. He's the middle of a triple sandwich of a Cyclops monster that has eyes all the way in a line around his head.
The other main character, probably the cool Sasuke character.
Yeah, with a blue mark, and then Dragon Man, who I'm excited to view more of because I always love those kind of characters.
I like his art design. Yeah. Well, not speaking of art design yet. Let's go to characters. Like I told you, my favorite character was Yuri. To be honest, I think mainly because she hates boredom. Like she's like, well, this is interesting. I don't really care about breaking the rules. It sucks to live a boring life. And I fully feel that, especially with this quarantine, because it's so boring right now. Why do you think we're filming this?
To alleviate the boredom, but her boredom is going into a death game and hoping to survive. So her level of boredom might be a few more months beyond of what we're at right now, but we could get there.
Also, how tall do you think she is? Because did you see everybody else next to her? They look like midgets.
Here's the problem though, is it's anime, so you never know. Because the main character could be on the shorter side, because a lot of protagonists seem to be on the shorter side until they go through like a growth spurt later down in the series. So for all we know, he could be 5 foot and then he'll be 6 foot later on. But I'm
Oh,
betting she's at least tall.
what's your height? I googled it. I had to Google it. What do you think?
Oh,
I'll give me a number.
5'11".
She's not 5. She's 5'9", dude. Only
What?
5'9", and she looks like she's a well. She's in heels too, mind you. I know because
So then she's in tall heels too. So
yeah.
she's probably like 5'6".
No,
Okay.
she's 5'9" in general. Like when I googled it, so she's probably like 6'1" in the what we're seeing.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, she's probably my favorite character. She's waifu material. She's raw. I like her character design too, but that's back to design. I don't want to get to that just yet. But
Yeah, just talking about characters for the moment. We'll
but
go down the list. Next in order of interestness was Bam Bam Bam, I guess, because of the 3 people or 4 people that talked in this episode, we know he's the main.
yeah, Bam Bam Bam. I mean, I like his devotion to his girl. Like he reminds me right now of if Simone was like a kid version of Simone when he was like between he became a badass to his mopey phase, like and in between that, because he's like, I'm chasing my girl, I ain't gonna stop, and yeah, and he's also dig through a hole that reached the surface.
So yeah, yeah. I'm guessing is a flashback. I'm sure we'll dig more into that because why the heck is he buried in a hole? Why does Rachel save him? There's a lot of religious overtones to this series, which is kind of obvious, seeing as it's called Tower of God. I mean, hell, when he enters the tower for the first time, there is a giant mural of someone who, what I would say, is probably a depiction of God.
But
There's
anyway,
also a pterodactyl, but that's art. That's art. That's later down the line.
later down the line, Bam Bam Bam.
Bam 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 is a character. I think I need to see a few more episodes yet because he has that.
He's pretty
He
basic.
has, yeah. I mean, the one thing that a lot of these characters, when they're first introduced, they have that hesitation in the setting that they're in. You know, like I'm thrust into this situation, and
His hesitation's
kinda like-
weird though, like because he didn't hesitate at all against a mythical dragon, but when he comes down to the battle royale, he's hesitating now.
yeah,
So,
like,
which is that's a question I have.
uh, in my own opinion, I think a giant dragon snake that's about the size of a blue whale would be way scarier than a cyclops monster that isn't holding a weapon at the end, and he's trembling at the end when he's in at the center of the 3 people who are like staring at him at the end of the episode.
He might not be good with people. That's the only thing that comes to my mind, really, because he just seemed devoted. Now he's like, oh shit, where am I doing? What am I about to do? But yeah,
I'm hoping that goes away pretty quick.
yeah,
because
I think it will.
I think that's kind of weak sauce for someone who literally jumped into the maw of a giant dragon to kill it,
Yeah.
even though he only cut off its tongue.
He's still good. But
He's
now
still good.
let's move to Rachel. I don't know why I'm giving.
Rachel.
Rachel. We barely got anything from her other than her dream, which is to see the stars because there's something known as the sky that she put it. So they don't. What's their sky? Is that a real sky or is it a fake sky?
Yeah,
That's a good. Well, that's back to the. We can move on to world building if we want to talk about that.
we gotta go. We gotta do the characters first. There's only 2 more after Rachel.
Yeah,
Really, and then a side mention for 2 more.
there's really nothing
But-
really about Rachel other than her dream.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure that they're keeping it mysterious, which I like
Yeah.
because you don't need to know everything about her right from the get-go. And I'm sure whatever this sky thing is or why she doesn't have stars is going to come into play for some reason, which I want to touch back on when we get to art because I did notice a little something when she was drawing stars.
All right, I'm just gonna have to use my webcam because my camera just died.
I was wondering what that noise was.
Yeah, I was too, and I turned around and my camera's like, give me 1 second real fast. I'm gonna put it on the charger.
Yeah, let's go down. Actually, I kind of want to save what I thought was the most interesting character for last. So let's just go back down. What's his name? Steve?
Evan.
Evan? He would be an Evan.
Navigator Evan.
Did you get any Brock vibes from him?
He's 100% the Brock of this story. He's probably going to be the MVP of the story at the end of the day, but he is the Brock of this story.
He definitely seemed like the Brock. And that's probably the best synopsis I can have for that character. because I
He's a
can't come
cool
any.
guy though. I mean he's helping. He's like not
He,
he's pretty much I'm glad he's not just like Yuri's bitch, which is good to see.
yeah,
He's like actually has a character. So we probably see a lot of him like Yuri and him as Team Rocket this I don't know why I'm making these Pokemon references now.
because
But
he was hesitant at the first to help the guy, but once they helped him, then he was all in. He's
yeah,
like, okay, fine, we're helping him. I'll help you out, help you out back. But I think the most interesting, at least characters that we've been introduced so far, is Hedon, and I think that's where we need because
yeah, Hedon has
his design is so
awesome.
creepy but cool at the same time. Like his face, it's like a demon rabbit because the slit that makes his mouth is where his eyes are, but they can also be all mouth and teeth. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did
It
not.
was it was so yeah, in one scene the whole slit was just teeth, and in the other scene you could see like the indent where the eyes are, and then they would open a little bit. And I'm like, whoo. He's also stupid strong
Yeah,
because
he killed the
he
eel with
killed that
just like ease, like just
no physical effort, just
bang, death.
death, just splatter, just whoo. Maybe because the eel failed him, maybe because he just didn't care. We don't
We
know.
don't know.
We don't know, and that's
That's kind of
I want to know how benevolent this guy is as opposed to scheming to help certain people, or if he's actually a true impartial character.
that's true. Like maybe we only see him this one episode and that's it. Not like
I
fully
doubt
one
it.
episode, but like he's not going to be in the story that much. He's going to be a character we see every now and again. We might go 5 episodes without seeing him, type of deal.
And I wouldn't mind that. I think keeping
I
him
think
mysterious and keeping him in the background is where he
it's
needs to be.
perfect. That's perfect. Like I don't want to see this guy every day. He has too many answers. I want to follow Bam 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 because Bam 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 doesn't know anything.
No, Bam 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 needs to like discover everything for his own because he's obviously in over his head.
So now let's talk about world building. This is now my favorite thing because what the fuck is this world? Because they have guns, they have bows, they have monsters, they have floors, they have magic, they have Zanpakuto. What is this world? And please, I want to know more. Tell me more, show. Because at this moment in time, this world building is great. It's phenomenal. It has me pretty much. It has me as invested as Made in Abyss had. But instead of going up, you're going, or instead of going down like it Made in Abyss, you're going up. So this world to me is just, it's awesome. The best.
It,
It has many questions, which is why it's awesome. To be honest, I don't want to go to a world and it's like, oh, does this make sense? Type of deal. Like I think Giguk hit it. If you even watches Giguk, he talked about Naruto, and the world of Naruto is kind of weird because sometimes they have technology, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they
yeah,
have
by the
computers, sometimes they don't. And
but
it's like, what's going on there? But we like they have Bluetooth devices, but then sometimes they need chakra devices that you need 10 ninja to like what's going on with there? While you have other shows like to me that have perfect world building, Made in Abyss, Attack on Titan, just to name a few, where the world is so immersed, it makes you feel like you understand what's going on. Right now, we don't understand anything, but
no,
I
we
feel
don't
like
know the rule.
yeah,
I think the two shows that you mentioned, they had an ironclad rule. Like Attack on Titan, they were limited to gas. They can build anything and everything to a degree, but they had to be within that same realm, so it seemed believable. Naruto, he can create eyeballs out of chakra. What the heck do you need any kind of technology for if chakra can
he
do
could
whatever you want?
summon, he could clone himself and make that clone into whatever he wanted. That's the only thing I'm gonna like.
Yeah.
What
What
what at
does
the
he
end
need a
of the day?
cell phone for? Like at that point,
But
like
they have cell. I'm pretty sure they have cell phones.
I'm, but
Yeah, it's
you know,
in general, it's like
it's
you
so,
have shows that world building doesn't make sense too much, while other shows that do it well. Right now, we have no idea about this world. It's just majestic and magical, and we don't. Which I like to start at with, but if it doesn't explain itself more, then yeah, I'm gonna have issues. But I think we're going to get the explanation pretty soon.
yeah, could just be. I mean, the real meta thing would be if the author's just like, I just wanted to draw lizard people and monsters attacking humans. Like, I don't know what you guys are reading into this for.
What are you guys doing? I mean, it's just a basic show.
You know,
What are you
it's
gonna...
just it's a cartoon, guys. Don't you know?
But the world seems majestic, magical. But no, let's. All right, since I have never read the webtoon, so I don't know the art style in it compared to the animation of the show. But the animation of the show, Aaron, I'll let you lead off.
Ooh, I love it. I honestly love the animation style of this show because it's not. I love the wavy line art to it. It's just so much more alive, and the first thing I saw is I was trying to Google who is making this series because it reminded me so much of another great movie, Dragon Ball Z Broly, which is an awesome film. Not plug, bad plug, I don't know, but it has the same type of line art to it, and it has a very like stylistic choice to it, which I love. It's almost like do you remember Ed, Ed and Eddie?
Do I
That was hand
remember it?
drawn. I know. It's a stupid question for our generation, but that had all moving line art, and it made the characters feel that much more alive. They weren't static. Every time they moved, they like it felt like they were just that much more real for very unrealistic looking characters, and I think it needs that. I love that. So I'll stop gushing. What did you think?
That was okay. I'm kidding. It was
Oh,
it was better than okay. It was art styles I like and prefer because I prefer more not the same usual anime esque art that you see through 80% of shows that come out every season. But like you said, the
yeah,
line art for it phenomenal. I enjoyed that. Especially I had very low hopes even with the trailer. I was like, oh, they're not showing us a lot of movement, which was my big
right.
fear. Like I was seeing frames. I'm like, okay, the frames look good, but once we get to the movement, I mean, is it going to look good? I don't know. It's like if when One Punch Man season 2 first came out, you're like, oh,
Oh
the frame,
god.
like the shot, like the images look good, but then once you see the movement, you're just like, oh, that looks shit. Not
I know, such a downgrade in quality.
yeah.
But that's
That's
a topic
that's
for another
another day.
day.
It's for this show for this it was great. It was phenomenal. It was what I expected from seeing the trailer, and I got what I expected, which is uh good
Good. I
animated
mean,
show.
oh
It's
yeah. I loved his use of color, like their use of color within things to set tones and just to establish different place settings because like the cave that he comes from and then when he first loses Rachel is one kind of stylistic choice. Then the room where they have to fight the eel dragon is like bathed in green tones, and then the next world itself is all like browns because they're on a vast savanna, so every like place has a different color tone to it, and that helps you when you're moving from place to place. Just mentally you're like, oh, we're definitely somewhere different, and I love that. I love stuff like that.
all right. Let's talk about the music now. The OST, the original soundtrack. I
Ooh.
wasn't listening to it like amazingly, like, but it was the second viewing of it. I was like, okay, so this is the soundtrack, and for me right now, it fit well. I don't know when he's in the when he first gets someone he's with oh god, I keep forgetting his Haddad when he's with him
Oh, heat on.
Hidan, where the soundtrack there to me was phenomenal. Like for the
Hmm.
placement of it, I was expecting more of a when he was like saying break, break, break. I was expecting more of like almost a hype song because I just watched a lot of Fate Zero, which you have Yuki. I think her name is Yukihara Kadro or something like that. She also does SAO, and when those like
Hmm.
emotional moments hit, the music just goes loud. Same with Attack on Titan, it just bang. I was expecting something like that, but we didn't get it. So I mean, it
I
wasn't
think
bad, but
no, I
it
think they
was
wanted to go a little bit more quiet into the desperation
yeah.
behind it,
Usually that's how you
which I
end an episode too, and that was still like 10 more minutes after that, it,
right.
which was strange
And
to me. I'm like, oh wow, this is not what I expected. I expected the episode to be over. I clicked the move my cursor. I was like, oh, the episode's about to end. Oh wait, we got like 10 more minutes. This is not over.
I almost did the exact same thing, but I was like, no, no, I want to see if it does it on its own because I had the same thing. I was like, that's normally the climax of an episode is him overcoming the challenge and then it ends. But no, they had to set up the next floor and then the potential other main characters because my main character radar was going off when the character designs for the two people showed up. And I'm fairly certain I'm right for the lizard man and edgy Sasuke with blue hair.
I don't even think he's edgy. It's just easy to describe that guy as like
I
an
know.
edgy Sasuke. I think he's gonna be way better than Sasuke. I don't want to even. I'm sorry for the fans that are watching that we keep calling him Sasuke. But yeah,
I know.
the music at
Yeah,
the
we'll
moment
stop.
fits. It looks like so.
I thought it was pretty good. The opening song was hype, as I already gushed about it earlier. But I thought it was pretty hype, and I thought the music was pretty good throughout. Like it was crescendoing in certain moments, and then it came right back down in others. And so far, it's good. But I know for a fact people are probably going to be like, "Let's make the first episode as great as possible," because this is our first impression. If you mess up your first impression, people aren't going to come back.
exactly. You always when you start a story, you want it to begin with a bam, and you want to end with a bam.
Maybe throw a third one right in the middle.
Yeah, just throw a bam right in the middle. Bam, bam, bam. But
Oh, hey.
final thoughts. What's your final thoughts on the first episode? You want to continue watching this, I assume?
I'm gonna watch it. I normally don't like to watch shows until the dub comes out, just because I get distracted listening to Japanese and reading English. I know I'm not a purist, but I'm still excited to see what the next episode has to bring, because it definitely has piqued my interest. And if it continues to deliver, it could be something really interesting.
For me, I am hyped. It went above my expectations of what I thought the first episode was going to be. And the weakest part of the story for me right now are the characters, because I think everything else is like a 9 to an 8 out of 10. The characters right now we don't know them. It's the first episode, so which is to be expected. But yeah, I can't wait for the next episode. Like, it's a battle royale. Who doesn't love battle royale? I mean, if you're playing Warzone, you played Fortnite, everyone's playing battle royale. So, I mean, if I had to give this a show score out of 10, I would probably give it a 8 out of 10 on my first impression. With the characters,
I was probably gonna say that. I was gonna say 8 or 8.5, but I was like, they introduced a few too many unknown things that were technology based for that world, or like a 2 for me to say 8.5. So I think 8 is probably a very good score, because it's a solid B by your grading scale.
I actually might give it an 8.5 now that you're talking me into 8.5, because I think it's better than a solid 80%, to be honest. I think I'm gonna give it.
I know that's the part. Yeah, I can see it. It's definitely worth a solid B, and 8.5 is a solid B. So I'm hoping it gets better and we get to A status down the line. But I think for a start, 8.5 is where it needs to be.
Yeah, it's going to probably be better than most shows. But that's it for our Tower of God first episode for the show we don't have named yet.
It'll come to us eventually.
Yeah, and we'll probably be talking about some other shows down the line. We haven't picked them out yet, but Love is War is on the Love is War.
It's on the Love is War is on there, and then all the new stuff that's coming out, and I'm sure we'll have to do some old ones too to do a little bit of throwback.
Throwback Wednesdays.
Throwback Thursday. What are you doing? You gotta get that alliteration.
Well, for everyone, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day.
Signing off.